All about integers. What are integers? Integers are any whole numbers that include positives and negatives. This also includes 0. Remember, fractions don't count. I'll give you a few examples of integers. Positive 1 would be positive integer, and negative 3 would be negative integer. What can you do with integers? You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide with integers. You can also use integers to add up everyday problems. Like, everybody in your class needs goggles. Your class is 23 people, but you only have 23 goggles. Well, you need 2 more. Some useful things to have when you do integer work are number lines, like the one right here. Absolute values. Absolute values are numbers with the same distance from 0. For example, the absolute value of 3 would be negative 3. If you add these two numbers together, you will always get 0. How do you do operations with integers? Start with addition. Adding positive integers together makes another positive integer, which is easy enough to understand. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. Simple. 9 plus 9 equals 18, right? Adding a positive and a negative integer is a bit more difficult. If the positive integer is bigger than the negative one, then the sum will be positive. If the negative is bigger, then the sum will be negative. Let's try 7 plus negative 9. Negative 9, the 9 is bigger than the 7, right? So you have to go below the 0 into the negatives by 2. 5 plus negative 3 would equal 2 because you're still not going below the 0 since 5 is the bigger one. It's basically like minusing and positive numbers. So 7 minus 9 would be the same thing, right? If you add a negative and a negative, you get a negative, which is the sum of the two negatives added together. So negative 3 plus negative 6 equals negative 9. So you could cover up the negative symbols and do 3 plus 6 and it equals 9, but put the negative back. It's easy. Remember to add brackets around the negative number that you are adding, but not the answer. How do you do operations with subtraction? Subtracting positive from positive most likely will get you a positive, unless the first positive is bigger than the second. If not, then the sum will be positive. But if it is bigger, if the first positive is bigger, then you'll get a negative. So 7 minus 3 equals 4. Yeah, that's simple, right? Ordinary subtraction. But 3 minus 7 will equal negative 4 because you have to go below the 0. Subtracting negatives is a bit more complicated. If you subtract negative, it's like adding a positive and it goes up the number line. So 7 minus negative 4 will equal 11 because it's basically like adding negative 4. Adding positive 4. Subtracting a positive from a negative will make you go down the number line. It's just like adding a negative. So negative 3 minus 7 will get you negative 10 because you start from negative 3 and go down 7 steps. Examples in real life. Here are some examples you can find outside the classroom. When you've used up all the money on your octopus card and gone below the amount, it will show up as a negative number. Also, you could record the growth of a tree over the past 3 years. In the first year, it has grown 4 feet. In the second year, it has grown 2. In the third year, it has grown 3. Add all this together, and you get 9 feet over 3 years. Another example would be when you have a thermometer. There are negative integers and positive integers in the thermometer. Workouts. So just to make sure you got all this, let's try some simple addition problems. 4 plus negative 8. So it's basically like 4 minus positive 8. You have to go below the 0 by 4, so you get negative 4. 17 plus negative 3. 17 minus 3 would be 14. Negative 9 plus 6. So you start at negative 9 and you plus 6. So you go up 6 steps and you're not above the 0, still under, but you get negative 3. Negative 32 plus 8. So you start from negative 32 and you add 8 going up, and that would be 24, negative 24. And 92 plus 3, 95, that's simple addition. Negative 2 plus 8, so go up 8 steps and you get 6 over 0, so positive 6. So let's try subtraction. Negative 4 minus 8. So you try -4 minus 8. So you start at -4 and you go down 8 steps this time. So let's try 8 plus 12. It's base 8 plus 4, I mean. I just gave you the answer. It would be -12, but because you have to put back the symbols of negative. 7 minus -5 would be so you start at 7 and you minus -5. It's basically like adding -5, so you would get 12 as a positive. -17 minus 6. Start at -17 and you go down 6 steps, and it goes to -23. 46 minus -13. So you start at 46, add 13 as a positive. It's basically you go up to 59. -73 minus 47. So you start at -73, you go down 47 steps, and you will get 110. And 120, sorry. Here are the answers. So my references are Google Images, GIMP, this art program, and Miss Kinsinger, my teacher. Thank you for watching.